Hey guys, I just wanted to show you real quick how to take your building block and assemble it together to test and see if your block and your teammates' blocks actually fit. So by now you should have a CAD model for a building block here in Onshape. To create an assembly, go down here to this little plus sign, click, and there's an option here to create an assembly. So I'm going to create a new assembly. It's a different menu, a different set of things you can do in this assembly. To get started with your assembly, go up to Insert, and from the Insert menu you can select all of the parts that you have in this document, or if you have other documents or documents that are shared with you, such as your teammates' documents, you can insert parts from those documents as well. I'm going to start by inserting a 2x2 block. I'm just going to click the block here, click over to the side, and that gives me that 2x2 block. I'm also going to add my 4x4 block here. I want to see if these two blocks fit together. So hit the green check mark to close that menu, otherwise you'll have to start all over. So there's my two blocks that I want to see if they fit together. To join them together, this is a very simple assembly. Because we don't have any moving parts, we want to use what's called a Fasten Mate. A Fasten Mate is going to stick two things together to keep them from moving. So select the Fasten Mate tool, and what you will see when you mouse over different parts of your block are these little circles that pop up. You think of joining two things together, think about what part of these two things we're going to match up, and that's what we want to click on to join together. So, for example, if I want this little 2x2 block to sit on top of my 2x4 block, usually it's easy to work from corners. Sometimes you may work from like the midpoints. Like I can mouse over, I can select the corner, I can select the midpoint of an edge, I can select the midpoint of a face. But if I want this 2x2 block to sit on top of my 4x4 block, I'm going to think about that as matching up this corner here, and you'll see that little circle's flat on the top surface of my block. I want to match that up with this corner here. And you got to be a little bit careful. Sometimes it's tricky to get the correct thing selected. You may need to like zoom in, zoom out, rotate your screen around. Do whatever you need to select the right surface. So I want to select the bottom face of this corner here. Zoom out, and that looks like, if I just do a quick visible inspection, it looks like that's joined together correctly. Hit the green check mark, and that's going to save your assembly. And so that looks like things are lined up pretty well, but it's kind of hard to see inside the blocks. There's actually a menu item for fixing that. If I click this little view cube, there's some options here for viewing hidden edges. For example, this translucent view will kind of give you an extra view of your block, and so you can kind of look and see how things fit together. For example, I've got this center pillar and I've got these knobs sticking out of the top. Well, the knob sticking out of the top should fit tight with the center pillar. It's kind of hard to see it from that angle. I'm going to look at it from the bottom view. There you go. And you can see that my circles that make the pegs, they fit pretty tightly with the cylinders coming out of the bottom of the block, and I made the little side supports as well. So it looks like, from what I can see from here, that my block fits together pretty well. And once I've got that established, I'm going to be ready to 3D print my blocks or create some more interesting designs.